true believers. In a world where there's people who are believing in truths, you are one of them, and we are here to talk about stuff pertaining to Marvel Crisis Protocol, because we are. The Professional Casual Network presents... Wait, did I roll a wild? A Marvel Crisis Protocol Pavlog?
We need to start enunciating a different word of that sentence every recording to be like, wait, did I roll a wild? Did I roll a wild? Did I roll a wild?
So it's funny that you say
Wait!
that. It's funny that you bring that up. Because I do that a lot when I ask a question, and especially when somebody doesn't necessarily hear me or answer me right away. Instead of just being a polite, normal human being, I simply respond with just regurgitating the question over and over again, enunciating a different word.
Yeah.
And I have found out very recently from several loved ones that, quote, it's really annoying. Really freaking annoying, apparently.
You know what?
I get yelled
you know
at a
what's
lot.
super positive about that is that they told you that it was annoying.
They could have been nicer about it.
Fair. Well, you want them to be honest with you, or do you want them to be nice?
Oh, nice. I always want them to be nice. I never want people to tell me what they're actually thinking, because typically it is the worst. I, of course, am Chuck, and we are joined once again by the CEO, Editor-in-Chief, Supreme Ruler, and Reptilian Overlord of the Professional Casual Network, Tim. Yep. And my new sworn enemy and man who's never allowed to touch dice ever again, Dan. Dan, you're here. Ever again. I'm never playing Dan ever again.
You know,
just so you know,
your one rule for this league was, I don't care as long as I don't have to play Tim.
Yeah, well,
we made a schedule around you specifically not having to play me. Who else are you going to play?
Well, Taylor and Danny, hopefully, but if it goes any way that this last game went over at twitch.tv/professional casual network, specifically with just the stupidest dice rolls I've ever seen in my entire life.
They were bonkers.
They were. Do you happen to have it queued up? Can you go ahead and drop that real quick for me? We are waiting. Hold on. Fred Durst is a little behind here today. Sorry, we are so sorry. Please accept our apologies. I like when shows bleed in. I owe a very specific apology. It feels like I'm on a Late 8 Showdown right now on all podcasting platforms. Tim, I owe you an apology. Specifically you. Yeah, this isn't even like the Elite 8 Showdown on all podcasting platforms where I set it up like I am going to apologize, and I don't. I actually do have to apologize. I often accuse you of having swingy dice and you being like, oh, I just roll statistically average. And then I get mad at you and get a little salty because you do tend to spike
when it's unneeded.
Yes, actually.
Listen, if I need to do 3 damage to win the game, I'll roll 12 and that'll be my best roll of the night.
Sure. Mm-hmm. But you do tend to swing a little more than average.
Sure.
Dan, on the other hand, had literally 2 entire rounds of probably the most insane spiking I had ever seen in my entire life.
It was just unreal.
Let's talk about it real quick. Of course, we were talking about the Infinity War League game. Week 2 that Dan and I played over at twitch.tv/professional casual network. It was the first time both Dan and I have played in the league. Mm-hmm. Wow. Let me just start by saying there.
Yes.
You cannot. I wrote some notes. Okay. I wrote some. Give me 1 second.
Set up the scene a little bit. Who was playing what? What characters were on the field?
So
what was the scent in the air?
Musk.
It was musky. Yeah,
it was.
So we had the reality crisis, which was there were 4. What is that? Map
Mind
B?
gems. There was a map B and map E, I think. Something
F.
like that. Or F.
I don't know. There were four corners for both of them. Reality, where if you were holding if you're securing it, then there was a chance you could reuse a tactics card. Spoiler alert, neither of us rolled that the whole game, unfortunately.
Right.
And then the mind fragments you could pick up and hold. And if you controlled the mind device in the very center of the table, then any enemy characters holding a mind fragment, you could, in the cleanup phase, have them make one power or 0 cost attack or move short.
Oh, wow.
It was
so
cool.
That for future, that needs to be FAQ'd because it's too powerful. It's super easy because it does play like Gamma Shelters to just get a ton of people. It's easy to get enough people in the center.
Yeah.
If you have mind gems on people, and you're typically going to want to put it on your most durable because you score a point if you control a mind gem.
Right. If you're holding one. Yep.
There has to be a cost to be able to literally manipulate the other characters. Because at one point, I think I had two. It
was one time I was holding the device and I got to do that with 2 of yours. And
yeah.
You did the same thing to me, but by then there was nobody of my team in range to attack, so you just moved them both short.
I just moved him off objectives, which kind of was pointless because he had already scored the points, and then you do that during the cleanup phase. It was more detrimental for him doing it to me than it was for me doing it to him, because I believe he actually did significant damage because he had Punisher rapid fire on me, which was very unfortunate. Yeah, it hurt real bad. There has to be, even if it's a pay 1 energy, like one of those characters may pay 1 energy to interact with it or something. But like the fact that you can just do it. And I'm saying that from both ends of the spectrum, both having the ability to do it and having it be used against me.
Yeah. There
has to be a cost to it. It's too powerful otherwise, because there is just not enough bodies in general to always be contesting, especially maybe it's you have to try to force a different crisis, but they are all just so god dang bonkers.
Yeah, that's what I love about them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of working as intended. That it is supposed to be a little wonky and all over the place. This is why you're really not supposed to keep track of wins and losses and stuff like that.
Well, it's for a league though. Yeah. So you have to keep track of wins and losses so you know who wins the league. But because otherwise, what's the fucking point of a league?
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Literally in the little rule book for the thing, it says don't keep track of wins and losses.
Well, that's dumb. What's the point of doing a league
balanced?
So I don't necessarily disagree.
I don't. Then why do you do a league?
So maybe what happened is they were like, wow, this is super unbalanced. This is going to cause giant rifts in the community. And they were just like, watch this. And they just wrote that little sentence like, don't fucking worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not really solved. Unless you're tracking like your actual points accumulated at the end of each game, and like that's how you figure out who wins.
That'd be cool.
But otherwise, I'm not really sure how you figure out who wins, because isn't the whole thing is that there's those token things, right?
Yeah,
or do you just get those for participants?
Yeah, I don't think there's any like prize for the winner or anything like that if you're playing it normally.
That's dumb.
Because it's just meant to be over one day and play a couple of crazy games out of the ordinary, which I love about these crises. They're so bonkers. Like that space one that Danny and Taylor did before, where you could teleport from one side of the board to the other.
Well, and like the thing is it is super powerful. I don't disagree that they are all just bonkers crazy, but like the reality one, you had to roll a critical.
Yeah.
And that was like, we never rolled a critical that whole time. And it was, I mean, if I think one of us had rolled a critical, holy crap, because you either get to pick a tactics card that you've already spent, meaning because immediately I was going to go for Years of the Throne again.
Naturally.
So I could do it twice. Or you get to pull one of your other 3 that you didn't get to bring.
Yeah.
Which actually, if you're running dual affiliation, would kind of be pointless. Like I didn't have another card I could bring.
Same.
So I almost would say, as a suggestion to those who might want to consider doing it, go mono affiliation and just build your entire 8 cards, your 8 tactics cards deck around either that one affiliation or just take non-affiliated cards altogether.
I think a lot of the most taken affiliated or tactics cards are in fact non-affiliated. You know what I mean? Almost everything's on the restricted list is.
Which
a
makes
banger.
sense because the more
Right.
things that can take
Yeah.
it, that's going to end up on the restricted.
Right, but like if I'm running Asgard, I'm always going to bring Rainbow Road. I'm always going to bring Odin's Blessing, like things like that,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
For sure.
so, but if you're running like I don't know Cabal, you might not necessarily need Cosmic Invigoration.
No breathing.
Jinx, yeah, my Coke. But I wrote down 8 notes.
Ooh.
1, Dan never gets to complain about dice. 2, Hawkeye is broken. 3, Cable is still broken. 4, should have brought Blood Red in personal, even though it was a trap, because I did math later on. 5, how do you Cabal? Specifically. 6, why didn't I take in humans as such a high threat count? 7, you cannot prepare for these crises, which I'll kind of break all these down anyway. And 8, you cannot hope that the crisis will do the thing that you need. So 1, Dan rolls freaking stupid this entire game. Now, I don't like to complain about dice in general. And I honestly, I think I rolled fairly average. I think there was only like one time where I spiked bad.
I thought you rolled well.
Yeah,
Like,
fairly
it was-
average.
It wasn't too swingy.
Hawkeye did 6 damage to Taskmaster in one shot
With 5 dice.
with 5
Sorry.
dice.
Hawkeye was a monster that game.
And then you daze him that
In round 2.
you dazed him round 1.
Right, I KO'd him round.
You KO'd Taskmaster round 2.
Yeah.
It was absurd.
Ooh.
It was ridiculous. I mean, there went my main sit on a point guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he's there to do
Yeah,
in
fair.
that particular build. So let's talk about what we brought, because we actually didn't. I brought Cabal. This is actually the first time I ever ran Cabal, and I went Red Skull Cabal, old Skulls Mahoney himself. I brought Red Skull, Killmonger, Taskmaster, Punisher, MODOK. Yeah. Who did not do nearly enough early game, but kind of made up for it towards the end. Dan, what did you bring?
I ran Avengers. I was going to do X-Force, but I forgot my domino card, so I had to go Avengers, which was fine. Worked out in the end. Obviously, Steve Rogers, Captain America, because we just got Sam Wilson, so a little too late. And who else did I have? Cable, which is really cool to play in a regular game outside of that Ultimate Encounter. And then I had Deadpool, Hawkeye, and Vision for the first time.
Oh, Vision's so good.
He's stupid.
Stupid broken.
Yeah.
I don't know why people don't take him every time.
Just that one. Well, in Avengers, having his throw cost 1 power was just.
Because it was already cheap.
Oh my. Yeah, it was already too cheap. And then his beam didn't end up being amazing. I think it did a fair bit of damage, but
that's how you got that's how you Taskmaster. That's how you KO'd him.
I think I
turn
finished
2.
him off there, but my dice, that was the only time my dice weren't great, was on that beam, where it was like I was able to line it up on Killmonger, Punisher, and Taskmaster and roll 30 dice, because I think I used Avengers Assemble to get him in position so he could just beam twice.
Yeah.
And like, it didn't do fantastic damage, but it was enough that I then used 1 power to throw somebody into somebody else. I think I threw Punisher into Taskmaster and finished off Taskmaster. And it was like, okay, worth it. And then he did some damage to the other 2 as well.
I did notice that someone in the chat, that Vision went down at one point and he was killed.
Yes.
And,
Finally.
And then
yeah.
redeemed some points to have you take off your glasses and said, now you've lost your vision twice.
Oh, I didn't see that in the
I
chat.
thought that was really funny. Whoever said that's very clever.
Was that you?
Oh, yes. It was awesome.
That's really clever. Hawkeye did so much work. I've never seen Hawkeye actually. I mean, and granted, you had 2 turns of just spiking really well, but he is so efficient in Steve Rogers Avengers.
Yeah.
We love Hawkeye on this channel.
I
honestly.
called it
We
before
do.
the game. I said MVP right
Yeah.
here. Because there were
Yeah.
2 turns where he just stood still, paid a power for trick shot. So there was a building in the way that was size 3, and he was like, I don't care about that. And then he just rolled awesome, and then I paid a power for trick shot, and he rolled awesome, and he gets power from damage, and he does all kinds of status effects, like, and he can move up to range 3.
Yeah.
Again, because I had the power gem as well. I had on my little card for the league, I had one that I could reduce the cost of a superpower by 1 once per round, in addition to my Avengers thing. So like,
which was
Hawkeye-
actually redundant but good. It worked out for you.
Well, you took out Cap like round 2. He was gone. He went down almost as fast as Taskmaster. Shocking. Yep. I think he didn't get usurped the throne. Cable did, but Killmonger did work on Cap.
Correct.
Brutal.
Correct.
But yeah, Hawkeye was just awesome.
The thing that makes this game, and we say it every week, so much fun is how swingy it can be. Because going into round 2 or round 3, I remember thinking, like, looking at you and saying, I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah.
Because like I was so behind.
But you got me that you KO'd Cap, Cable, and Vision, like my 3 toughest dudes. All I had left was Deadpool and Hawkeye running away.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Your offense was crazy good. It just, I was able to get the points earlier.
So I figured out very quickly that the particular team I built is like a second half team if they're still alive during the second half, because Killmonger, Punisher with fallen tokens and doing aim shot, absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Was it 11 dice at one point?
Yeah.
Or 10 or 11 damage at one point?
Yeah.
What?
It was 10 dice. I ended up doing 11 damage because of a couple of crits.
On Cable.
Yeah.
Went down.
It was super nuts. Yeah. I think I rolled like 4 criticals that time or something like that. It was something ridiculous.
It was like, I have 5 defense dice, but you did 11 damage. So I'm going to roll them for fun. Oh, you dead. Oh, there I go.
Even with the shield. Like it didn't
just
benefit
wasn't
him.
enough.
Okay.
Vision became the absolute bane of my existence. And the problem was he was the bane of my existence, and I had to address him because the way we were set up, he could just beam me 3 times again, and that would have been awful. But I didn't have. There was other things I had to worry about before then too. So it was just like I don't know where to address this. And he activated Vision so early that it was just like, okay, I'm thinking like Tim France now. He's already activated. Should I just ignore him this turn? But I don't want him to activate again next turn.
Right.
You know?
I had a lot of long range threats in that game.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody had a range 4 or 5 attack. Because even Deadpool's bang is range 4, which is that actually worked out pretty well. I got a bang off at one point.
Hot.
Yeah. Not bang though.
Well,
that's all I want is bang.
I don't want to talk to you. So far we've run Space, Reality, Mind. What was the other one that was run?
Power.
Was it Power?
What's Power? What does that one do?
Power. True Power. During the power phase, each character within range 2 of an amplifier suffers 1 damage, and holding a power shard that is within 2 of the amplifier.
I don't think they did that one.
Time?
No.
They roll at the start of the phase if they get a crit.
Because I wanted to do time, and then we pulled 2 cards at random to choose from.
Oh, gotcha.
As you know, the rules say that we never usually do.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I read them over that night before we played, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is how this works. Because we always just kind of pick 2 crises for the normal game.
I thought you drafted 3 cards for some reason.
You bring 3 of each flavor of crisis, and then you randomly draw 2, and then you get to pick 1 from one of those sides.
I gotcha. All right.
So, like, I wanted to play the Time Gem one, and if I had priority, I was going to choose 15 Threat just to try something a little lower game for something different. And that was the one that got discarded. And I was like, all right, well, we're not doing that.
Shucks.
So I'm not sure what the other one we did was then.
It must have been Soul.
That sounds right. Yeah.
All right, cool. So that means this week we'll probably be then do the last 2 and get Time and Power out of the gate.
Ooh.
For Taylor and I. Yesterday, some might say.
Mm-hmm. It was a great game. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know why I was trying so hard. I knew the outcome so early, but sometimes you just got to roll with it.
Fair. At some point, I will say this: somebody is going to eat dirt.
Fair,
without question.
It's just crazy,
and it's going to be you because Taylor is an enigma that I still have not been able to figure out how he plays.
So good, but just how many blanks he rolled was shocking.
Right.
He did shoot a lot of blanks in that particular game, which honestly, good on him. He kept a stiff upper lip, but there was just nothing behind it.
Right. All right, let me go through the rest of my list here.
Yeah.
Cable in Avengers is disgusting.
Yeah.
Making him just that much
body slide by one.
Body slide by one. For one, the shielding for one.
I guess that's what you should call it now when he's on the Avengers affiliation. It's
body slide for one.
Yeah.
Right? Because there was one point where I thought about using a Ascani's-son, that I would have had 2 people in range, but I was 1 power short. Even because Cap was down by then. I think I'd already used my power gem thing.
Well, that was for superpowers only anyway, right? Not attacks.
Well, because I needed the body slide to get there. I think.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't quite do it. But like his plasma gun is so good, it doesn't matter.
To be totally honest, a Steve Rogers, Cable, Vision, Hawkeye group at 16 threat right there. I mean, that's so
good.
You can argue that's a pretty solid base. You could even bump Hawkeye out of there if you wanted to, or like depending if you needed to go super low, lower threat or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think Vision does so much work in Avengers.
So
I wonder if we're going to see a resurgence of Avengers. Like I know Sam Wilson's coming out, so we are going to see Avengers. I think we'll see dual leader affiliation, full roster, mono Avengers.
I'll try it.
But I think I think we're going to see Steve Rogers come back with so many characters in Avengers now. So many characters that benefit from Steve Rogers Avengers now.
Yep.
I think they're a contender. I think they're a contender, especially in more competitive play. And I think people are sleeping on it, and that's really, really dumb.
It's always been my favorite affiliation because it's good for every single model.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can benefit from cheaper superpowers.
Yep.
Except for
I guess there's 1 or 2 that can't.
War Machine.
War Machine, true. War Machine,
I think is it.
Nope. Ant-Man, Wasp.
Well, they don't benefit as much, but
they don't benefit at all. Other than they are Avengers.
They don't have any superpowers.
All their superpowers cost 1.
No.
Yep.
Well, I know that's why nobody Transform does, because I did that wrong in a game against Chuck back in the fall.
Yeah.
I realized later.
I thought one of them had a throw. Like
all Ant-Mans are.
They have Pym Particles, which is a card.
Yeah, all of Ant-Mans are 1.
Yep.
I was joking.
How about just Charlie was right?
No, he was joking.
I was joking.
Yeah, no, I'm never right.
Wasp has a 3 power. Her throw does cost 3. So between the 2 of them, they have 1 power that would benefit from it.
Which
Still,
rounds up.
She has a throw?
Yeah, her Pym discs.
Which rounds up to not 0, which means between the 2 of them, they have an average of 1 power that can be used.
So throw some more ideas in the comments. Is anybody else that just does not benefit from Steve Rogers, Captain America, super leadership?
Sinister?
Mike could check.
Maybe.
But we know.
I mean, there's characters that just aren't, but there's so many people that are in the Avengers affiliation that also will benefit from Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
Which is like I think that's the only Avengers specific card that benefits everybody.
And healing one.
Oh, Second wind.
Yeah, that one. You heal 1 power and
remove the stun condition.
Specifically stun, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
so
you cancel them down,
Well, we're seeing that very specific thing again because there's Aunt May's wheat cakes or whatever is coming out, and that specifically applies to slow for whatever reason.
Because that's like the Web Warriors equivalent of that, right? Everybody can pay 1 and heal damage.
Heals 1 damage and removes slow special condition, which I think is supposed to be the counter for Kraven. Because Kraven puts slow.
I've been trying to get my hands on Aunt May's sweet cake for years.
Accurate.
Oh, geez, here we go.
I'm a Gilf. McGilf Hunter.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Call me Kraven the Gilf Hunter.
So we had a conversation. Stop. We feel
turn off his mic.
I feel sad. You made me sad.
Yeah, I'm also disappointed by that one.
You just work here, bud.
How's it work? Me.
So
no school tomorrow.
True.
We had an argument. Or no, we had a discussion of, is Blood Red and Personal a trap?
Yeah.
And I said that it pretty much was. Yep. I mean, it's situational, absolutely, like most traps are. I went back and tried to rethink as hard as I could. I think I would have beaten you that turn where I got cap, I got vision, and I got vision and cable in the same turn. I think that would have actually made me, if I had brought Blood Red and Personal, I think I would have won that game because it would have brought me 2 points closer. So I would have scored before you. So I think or we would have tied, one or the other.
Yeah. So remind me, Blood Red and Personal is the one you play, and then anybody that's KO'd that turn, you get a victory point?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that the one where it's not just Punisher has to do it? Just
anybody.
Punisher has to spend the power during
Punisher.
Okay,
right.
I was on the show, we talked about that card, but I kind of forgot.
Punisher
that would have
had power on him literally the entire... Like, I was trying to figure out ways to use up his power.
Yeah.
Because you just kept pumping bullets into him, and he was just staying alive long enough to be able to... at one point, I blew up a piece of terrain just so he couldn't throw it at me again.
Yeah, that was kind of awesome.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm getting rid of this size 3 building because I don't need you whipping it at Killmonger.
Yeah.
Yep. Because Cable was like, give me that.
Yeah. Well, Vision was throwing everything at me
too. Yeah, they were both throwing stuff around.
It's ridiculous.
Cable threw a size 4 building at one point.
Oh yeah.
When he was injured because he had so much power from getting dazed, and he was just like, okay, boom.
Threw it. Did you throw it at MODOK?
I'm pretty sure I threw it at MODOK.
MODOK and just fucking took it like a champ. It was actually
didn't that get him down to like 1 damage left, and then you used your soul gem?
So I brought the soul gem that allows me to transfer damage.
Yeah.
And I transferred because MODOK was on his injured side. He had 3 damage on him. I was like, all right, I need to make MODOK still a threat. Yeah. Transfer that 3 damage onto my not even touched Red Skull.
The only damage you took all game.
Yeah. Literally the only damage you took all game. The way the game ends though is I figured out that I was going to lose unless I could get the Mind Gem off of Deadpool. I play aim lackeys to move up Red Skull. Red Skull then Cosmic Cubed himself up and then moved to get into range to try to Cosmic Blast Deadpool dead.
Yep.
I needed to do 4 damage because he has 4 damage on that side.
Yeah.
And I did 3.
Yep. Oof. All because of healing factor.
Healing factor. So
Deadpool was like, I got this consequences of my actions chasing me right now. He was just running away with that mind shard.
Anyone with healing factor 1 honestly should probably cost more.
He has healing factor 2, which is even better.
Anyone with healing factor 2 should probably cost more.
I completely agree.
I definitely thought the 4.
I mean, he didn't do much. He just kind of sat on objectives all the time.
Healing factor 2 is the highest it goes, right?
That we've seen, yeah.
So Wolverine really is the best at what he does.
Just as good as Deadpool at healing.
Right. I mean, the famous Deadpool quote, now I'm better at whatever it is Wolverine does.
Yeah, I definitely thought the 4 stamina on his healthy side would really be a detriment, but you did 2 damage to him at first with a throw, and then he healed it pretty quickly, and then you did I think he took 1 more damage later and healed it, and then you did another few. So like he took quite a bit of damage for having 4 stamina on his healthy side.
Yeah.
He was great. He wasn't flashy by any means. He didn't do a lot, but he survived.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
What is Deadpool's interaction with Cable on that tactics card? Yeah.
So he does the body slide instead.
Oh, okay.
He is placed within 2 of himself. If he starts within 2 of Cable, he can just be like, "Hey, body slide by 1." He's like, "No, don't do that," and then Deadpool teleports.
Yeah, I like that.
Which I did use at one point. It was pretty cool.
But the last, I mean, how do you Cabal? That was my first time playing Cabal. I almost feel like the Unleash the Cube. Whatever the thing is that he does, that he can do an action. He gets 3 energy, but he has to roll dice. Red Skull.
Yeah, that was really good for you.
It worked out really well, but I wonder if it's a trap because it does take one of his actions away.
Yeah. Vision has it too, but he only gains 1. You know?
Right.
The synthesis?
Yeah.
Did he just straight gain 2 power?
I thought it was 1.
I think you're thinking of Wong's Meditate.
I am probably thinking of Wong's Meditate.
Yeah, I think he gets 2 for it.
I think he probably gets 2 for it.
Yeah.
Vision does, but I never used it because he was all
He didn't need it.
Right,
Didn't need
yeah.
it.
No, he didn't.
But think about that. I mean, between the power phase and using synthesis to get 2 power, that's 3 size 3 throws
Over 3 turns.
over 3 turns with the Avengers affiliation. So pretty great throw.
I need to get my Captain America buffalo shielding painted up like real quick.
Yeah.
Because I kind of playing against Avengers and now with so many characters on the Avengers team, I wouldn't mind like after the league taking a 5-6 games, like a roster and just playing around with different characters in Avengers.
Yeah.
And just seeing what it's like.
And the good news is that you can fit pretty much half the fucking game into that affiliation.
Yep, pretty much.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Got 2 more.
And I think the two biggest points I walked away from it is you cannot prepare for the crisis. They're so insanely bonkers with the possibility, and they are so swingy that you just need to go in, and it kind of becomes less prepare for it and more reactionary.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, what do I need to do this turn? And kind of do like damage control. Like I felt like the entire game I was playing damage control.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do I do better?
Especially with those gems, like I could have taken, I think it's a space gem that allows me to move an objective up to range 3 from where it is at the start of it, like after deployment. So like I could have moved, I would have loved to have it in that setup where I just moved the mine device on my side.
Oh yeah.
And been like, this is mine now. You know, like they're just so out there, the things that can happen in those games that, yeah, you really can't plan for it. Totally agree. You just gotta,
right.
I don't know what to do. Roll dice.
Pretty much, yeah. And also, you can't hope for the crisis to do the thing you need it to do. Like you and I both at one point were like, okay, I really need that critical because I really need to bring a tactics card back.
Would have been nice.
Which is dumb because like we literally can't do that any other time. Why all of a sudden are we focusing? Like my focus was like, I need Yours of the Throne like now.
Yeah, that would have been so gross.
Although I don't know if it would have really worked because it didn't. The cable was gone by then. So how does that work? If you kill,
it's just highest threat on the table, isn't it? I don't remember how it's worded exactly.
Unless there's more than one that he can choose.
Right. Is it on the table specifically, or is it on the team? Because how does that work? If he's already on the team and then he's KO'd and gone, do you not get to use it anymore?
I don't know. I
throw it down in the comments. Does it ever come up? Does anybody even play Killmonger?
I got it. All right.
I'd assume it transfers, but
so when attacking the enemy character with the highest threat value. So this round, Killmonger adds 2 dice to his attack rolls when attacking the enemy character with the highest threat value. If Killmonger dazes or KOs, just if there's a tie for highest threat value, Killmonger's controller chooses one to be affected by this card. I don't know if that's been like FAQ'd or rules forumed to clarify, like, is it on the squad or is it on like not KO'd on the table?
Right.
I would assume it's
on the table.
Yeah.
I think that's how we've always played it because we've only used this card a couple times in the life of the show, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how we've done it because that just seems to make sense.
Yeah. But it was good. Head over to twitch.tv/professional casual network and check out the VOD. And in probably 4 weeks time, that game will be up on the YouTube.
Yeah.
By the way, the schedule is rolling out. News. We didn't really get much this week.
A little tiny sprinkle today.
Except for literally today.
Like an hour.
Yeah, like an hour ago after this episode has already dropped, there was like probably 14 character cards released.
Yeah, we finally, we learned a little bit about Dormammu.
Yeah.
But not.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, but on Tuesday, they're going to drop 14 characters after this video's already been released.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We'll find out the whole fall release.
Yep, 100%. Yep. And with nothing to talk about in this episode except for Dan and I playing a game.
Jerking each other off.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say it, but okay.
I don't remember that happening, but
I was doing it on the table.
It was during the giveaway.
Yeah.
Wow. How'd I miss that?
Why do you think my hands are always in my pockets, man? So Dormammu is coming.
Yes, which I feel like we've known about
It got leaked.
Yeah, it got like
on,
a long time.
A price thing got leaked a long time ago.
And then we all kind of forgot about it because it was like, who knows when that's coming out.
Yeah.
And then that little retail blurb showed up that was like, oh, we're going to get more Dormammu. He comes with an ultimate encounter. He comes with some terrain pieces. And we got one picture of one of those terrain pieces.
Yeah, a big mystical goatsy opening up.
Right. I think first and foremost, we all can collectively say, look, it's $80. If you don't want to spend the $80, don't buy it. It's a lot of money, but it's an ultimate encounters.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting, we don't know if they're terrain pieces or if they're going to be, maybe they're
minions.
Well, I'm wondering if like the portals apply specifically to the ultimate encounters or if there's something he can actually put on the board like constructs.
I hope that it's in like part of the ultimate encounter and there's like a tactics card like Doctor Strange's portal.
I mean, it'd be cool if he had his own version of portals, but they were now actually in model form.
So the last time we saw a pack like this, it was the Thanos one, which added all the cosmic cubes, added an ultimate encounter, a character that could be normally played.
A big piece of terrain.
A big piece of terrain.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume that we're going to see the exact same thing with an additional layer.
I hope there's something more for that increase in price.
Yeah.
That's $15 more American.
It is.
Well, I mean, but like, look, everything's
is,
going up in price. You just have to accept it.
I can tell you what it is.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? A Galactus foot?
No, Dan. 2 Galactus feet.
Oh. So what they showed, I'm pretty sure they said there's a Nexus miniature and 2 Dimensional Rift miniatures coming with Dormammu. I think what they showed was the Nexus.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Or it could have been one of the Dimensional Rifts that they showed.
The Nexus.
My assumption would be that's the Dimensional Rift.
Isn't the Nexus like the whole multiverse thing?
I don't know.
Like the Nexus is like a big deal, I'm pretty certain.
I mean, on the Loki show maybe, but I don't know about.
Didn't they also say that there was 2 additional models in it, meaning that there was like there might be a big version of Dormammu for the ultimate encounters, and then there's like a normal version of Dormammu?
Yeah.
In this the retail blurb, it just says Dormammu is coming. He says the most imposing foe, Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Strange, he represents a threat to entire realms, and this adds him to players' Crisis Protocol rosters with a beautifully detailed unpainted miniature, along with a Nexus miniature and 2 Dimensional Rift miniatures. Unless Nexus is another character I've never heard of, that would make if there were 2 characters in the box, then the price is okay. I'm not gonna complain about the price too much as long as it's the only thing that comes out that month. Like if it's that and another box with something, it's like that's just going to be too much for the wallet. Like then choices have to be made. But
yeah, we need a new Wong miniature.
Looks like Wong from
wild speculation.
The MCU.
I have nothing to back this up.
Go for it.
But I'm wondering if I'm going to be right. At least in the ultimate encounters, but maybe also in game.
Mm-hmm.
A Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Strange card. You use the same card that you already have, but he's a 6th threat. And he's no longer the Avengers affiliated. Or Defenders, sorry.
I would like to see, similar to how the Power Stones, Power Gems, whatever, in the Thanos box added, a whole bunch of stuff that people could do with those gems.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the same thing, but that thing that we've been talking about forever, either magical enchantments or equipment, a bunch of stuff to be able to play with other characters.
So
yes, 1 threat things, please.
Yes.
I don't want that.
Well, I mean, you could be joking. That's fine.
No, like I'm sure that I feel like that is creeping into a territory that they're never going to be able to come out of because they're not capping it with like only specific people, only specific people can bring gems.
Right.
And I feel like that is going to make the game too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like giving just additional abilities, additional cards to just anybody makes this game a little too much.
What if they flipped it down, turned around, reversed it, and said that these equipment cards or spell cards or whatever that come out, that card can only be used with specific characters. The existing character does not need a pre-existing ability or innate saying that they can use it. But this thing comes out, this sword, there's been 4 people that use it. Those 4 people can have it. And then they update those like affiliation cards.
Sounds a lot like tactics cards now.
Yeah.
But that costs threat.
Yes.
Because I just want more options for things that are one threat, other than infinity gems that a handful of characters can take, which that percentage is getting smaller and smaller every month. Just because there's often I want to build a list and I'm 1 point short, and then I have to take out somebody I want to field for somebody that just costs one more because I'm not going to play a point down.
But you don't have. You can do that.
I don't want to though.
Well, that's dumb.
At one point, one threat level in this is such a big deal that playing one down can be hugely detrimental.
That's half a Bob.
Yeah,
you've given up,
right? And we know Dan's the most competitive player here on the stream, so I guess that makes sense. Very often,
rolls like he's trying to be competitive.
So in that game,
yeah, that made sense in my head.
He aggressively throws the dice?
No, his rolls are usually adequate or better.
Except when I really need them.
Yeah, certainly.
And then it's
if it's when
2 out of 9.
When you want to do something cool, that is when it fails.
100% for sure.
Also, we got the release of Sam Wilson and War Machine in the States. As well as Cassandra Nova and Jean Grey and Omega Red.
All that came out this week?
Tentacles, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, 5 minis.
Yeah, it's a lot. The community. I actually unfollowed the Marvel Crisis Protocol unofficial group because of just the absolute backlash destruction of Cassandra Nova and people like showing pictures of her in the garbage in already.
That was MC1 Gamer.
Was it really?
Pretty certain.
Whoa, Mitch.
No, it wasn't Mitch.
Was it
Mitch?
Yep. Because I saw it, I was like, showed it to Danny, and she was like, oh, and I was like, look at the name, and she was like, oh, Mitch. I was like, I'm not surprised that he would do. I'm sure he didn't throw it away, but
my hero.
He said the thing like, "Don't just calm down. It's a joke." Don't
right,
worry.
and I got that it was a joke, and it was good. It was clever. I appreciated it. The comments that followed it, however, made it. Oh, that's what I'm doing with mine too. I'm not even gonna build this thing because she's so stupid and nobody wanted her and blah blah blah. It's like, just
they know she has a scarf, though, right?
Right?
Yeah, shut. I don't know. Just shut up.
Because you didn't want her doesn't mean no one else does.
Yeah.
I mean, literally nobody wanted her because nobody still has any idea who the hell she is. But
who thought that we were going to get Cassandra Nova before Nova?
Who thought we were going to get it before Iceman?
All of us. You had to stab that knife in.
I did. It was fair.
We also got updated affiliation lists with those new characters.
Yes.
Most of it was pretty standard, what we expected. Obviously, Sam Wilson, Captain America, of course, is Avengers because he's a leader. War Machine is obviously Avengers. That's all they're on. Cassandra Nova and Omega Red are on Cabal. Again, not really surprising. They're villains, so they're Cabal. Omega Red was also added to Criminal Syndicate.
A little out of left field.
A little bit.
Not as bad as A-Force or Avengers, but
well, once I thought about it, at first I was like, I mean, that's awesome for them. He will fit in there really well. Yeah. But thinking about it for a minute, Omega Red is usually the hired grunt. He's not a high tier villain on his own right. One-on-one, he can take most of the X-Men, but he's not the mastermind behind things. Somebody usually hires or manipulates Omega Red into doing something. So I was like, I'm okay with it there. Interesting choice.
Speaking of, and I didn't know that, and that made a lot of sense, and I forget who it was on the video for last week. Was it Derek, maybe? That kind of gave us a brief rundown of why the drawback works and why the poisoning, the carbonadium poisoning and stuff works on Omega Red.
His actual lore behind it? Well, it's killing him. So he has to drain the energy out of people to survive. Really cool stuff.
It added a lot of context to that, which I really appreciated.
Which I appreciate. I like that they went lore design over play importance.
Fighting for Frequency is the one who educated us a little bit, which I really appreciated.
There you go.
I feel in general, AMG does a really good job with that. We're focusing on what did this character do in the comics, maybe a little inspiration for
except for their fucking posers, and here's why.
Also, Gene wasn't added to any other affiliations. All right.
Omega Red in the 92 cartoon comic, which is what all of the X-Men characters are based off of, he is running with the Brotherhood. He should have been put in Brotherhood. He also teams up with Magneto in X-Men versus Street Fighter in the cutscenes in the intro. Shame on you, except for Dallas Kemp, who is, of course, as always,
An angel,
and never deserves to have anything negatively said about him.
A national treasure,
absolutely national treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on all you. Otherwise, I'm disgusted by you.
I am
Schick,
very surprised.
Paganti. What are you, a salsa?
I am very surprised that Omega Red and Sinister didn't get into Brotherhood just because I thought that was going to be kind of like an X-Men villain catch-all. Like Cabal is just kind of generic villain catch-all.
Yeah.
So surprised they're not there.
They've all worked with Magneto at one point, I'm sure. I don't know. It's kind of hard to follow the X-Men timeline nowadays.
I mean, realistically, Sinister and Magneto should both be on the X-Men list as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, they are currently affiliated with X-Men, being on Krakoa and like living together and everything. Magneto's led the X-Men at times. Like, I'd love to get an alternate Magneto where he's an X-Men leader.
Yeah.
Because he's done that a couple times.
Mm-hmm. He's been the right-hand man for Cyclops, too. In Uncanny X-Men.
Oh, yeah. When he had the Jean Grey school. No, that was Wolverine's, was the Jean Grey school, right?
Yep. Cyclops' was the Xavier Institute.
Yes, and he was like way out in the West somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we've got Gold Balls.
That is when we got Gold Balls, who still needs to be in this fucking game.
Would he be as Gold Balls or would he be as Egg?
Ooh.
Because they changed his name now because they learned that he actually makes like
eggs,
undeveloped eggs.
3-threat Gold Balls. 3-threat Gold Balls.
I would have put him at a 2, but okay.
Hey.
I'd love to hear it.
3-threat. Same card. No differences.
Okay.
Right.
Same alias?
Mm-hmm.
So there's
maybe a slash in between them. Gold Balls / egg.
No, I'm saying the other one. The other alias.
What's his name? Gabriel or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
So you're going to keep Gabriel on both cards?
Yes.
So it's just literally the superhero name is the only character name is the only difference.
No, 2 slashes.
Okay.
So his real name, then Gold Balls, then egg.
All right. Nerds, are you done? Are you done talking about nonsense? Let's talk about some tactics cards.
Okay.
Because we don't have that's it for the news.
I mean, there was a clarification upon the rules for when rerolls should be paid.
Oh, yeah. When I asked you what we were talking about tonight, you didn't bring that up.
It was later.
Like right now?
No.
We talked about it in the chat a little bit.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah, I know. I meant like literally right before you hit record. What are we talking about again tonight? And you went, I don't know. We can talk about
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Let's make speculations on Moon Knight.
I don't even.
You want to make some speculations on Moon Knight?
No, because I don't even know who Moon Knight is, other than he's just a white Batman.
I mean, that's not wrong, but I don't know. Moon Knight's awesome.
He's like Batman, but interesting and good.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
He is mentally unstable.
Yep.
I know that much, but like I don't know his powers.
What else do you need?
What's his powers?
He doesn't really have them sometimes.
Well, it depends on what iteration you're talking about, because sometimes he has no powers. Sometimes he's literally the avatar of his god Khonshu.
All right, so make some speculation. What the fuck is going to be on his stupid card then, you wankers?
3-threat, long move, wall crawler, first off.
Well, he's on the wall crawler card, or he's on the climbing gear card.
Right,
yeah.
So he's got climbing gear already. He doesn't need the card.
Nope.
3/3 or 4/3.
He has an activated superpower that costs 1 that gives him wall crawler.
Just like the card?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I'm okay. I'd be all right with that.
Because he doesn't innately have it. If you were to push him, he wouldn't be able to crawl on that wall. But if he takes his things out, then he can scoot right up there.
So do you think they could have multiple, like Moon Knight and then like Moon Knight Avatar of Khonshu, as like we could get a different one down the line?
Andrew's side flips over Avatar of Khonshu.
Oh, I was gonna say, or a superpower like Avatar of Khonshu. He can like add
binary
dice,
form.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You asked for it.
I'm regretting all of my decisions.
He's definitely got
How did I
range
get here?
3 strike because of his long stick, like Donatello, and then he's also got like not batarangs, but like
I think it's called
boomerangs.
Moon Knight's gonna throw a bunch of bullshit at you. That's how they refer to it in the comics.
Oh, he's got an innate superpower. It's like, bitch, where's my money?
Yes.
Where's Dracula? He owes me money. And then he just takes power from people near him, kind of like they lose power, kind of like Deadpool.
Deadpool's Merc with a mouth. Yeah, absolutely. Except it's like a sap. He just puts it on himself. He steals your money. He can wall crawl sometimes if you have power for it. Probably not long movement, but maybe a charge where he jumps out of his bat jet.
Yes.
When
he flips his where's Dracula? He owes me money power changes to Dracula's not in the Avengers. I've checked.
Yes.
I don't know what it would do on that side, but it changes.
An invulnerability called ketamine addiction. Or like
that makes him ignore 1 damage.
Yeah. And he rolls 1 more dice on physical attacks. Granted, there was a very specific time where he was almost Taskmaster-like.
Yeah.
Where he had like a Wolverine personality, a Captain America personality.
Yes, he has had multiple personalities.
So sure. I absolutely think that you give him a shield throw without a shield. He just chucks like a garbage can lid or something.
He's like a ninja, uses his environment.
You give him Berserker Barrage and you give him...
he gets a throw, but it's only size 1 terrain.
Yes. Yeah. Yep, yes. Only garbage cans. And he does get taser webs, except he just throws a taser.
I love the idea if he had stealth, even though he wears all white, because his thing is always like, there was, I think it was the Charlie Houston run where somebody was like, why do you wear all white when you're like prowling the streets at night? And he's like, because my enemy, like who I'm going after is going to be so scared of me that they're not going to be able to hold the gun straight. They're not going to be able to hit me anyway.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty badass. Mm-hmm. And then he shows it in practice. Because like the run-of-the-mill dude, like just dudes that he's beating up on the street and like beating the shit out of to a pulp. They're terrified of him.
That is the thing.
I love Moon Knight.
It is what Batman is without all of the writing things off of Batman. Like Batman just murked 3 people in the middle of the street. He dropped them off of buildings, but like they're okay. He doesn't kill people. Moon Knight doesn't have that facade.
He doesn't.
Moon Knight just murks people. And not in a Frank Castle way.
I was going to say, so he's Frank? I don't understand.
No, but Frank kills people that deserve it.
Right.
But Moon Knight does it because he thinks he's a superhero.
Moon Knight kills people that are sometimes around.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like he thinks he's a superhero, but all the other superheroes are like, dude, you need to stop doing this. And he's like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm Moon Knight.
Don't you understand that I'm the avatar of this god, and even the god is sometimes like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes he's super.
It was like Cthulhu looking, right?
It's like an Egyptian god.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like that bird mask,
which looks really cool. So yeah, if you
Nubis,
if you haven't, look up just look up Moon Knight memes. This is so good. Where people change captions in comics to make Moon Knight a little more ridiculous than he is. Some of them are not changed though. Every once in a while, you find one that isn't altered.
One sneaks through. Oh,
but yeah, Khonshu, I think, is the Egyptian god of the moon. Mm-hmm. Is part of it, and like he's been retconned a little bit. In the beginning, he was just a rich dude who had multiple personalities, and one of them was Moon Knight. One was a taxi driver. One was like this rich entrepreneur or something like that. So he was very obviously inspired by Batman, but like flipped where he wears all white. And then they kind of changed him over time to where he is, sometimes he's like literally empowered by this god and has superpowers because of it. Like Khonshu's brought him back to life and stuff. And sometimes he's like a cleric of Khonshu, basically.
Yeah.
He like
so he'll have like Hela's power where she can come back, or maybe he'll have a tactics card like
that would be super cool.
Age of Ultron.
That would be dope.
The thing I always loved about Moon Knight is it always skated the line where you didn't know if he believed this or it was actually happening.
Right.
Whether he had powers or whether he didn't, because
like Birdman.
Exactly like Birdman.
Yeah.
Which is what I loved about him. And he was the Phoenix and Iron Fist and like 3 other things at once, because his Khonshu was just like, all right, we got to go collect all the big strong things. And he got like, he beat up Thor and took his hammer. He took the Phoenix Force. He took all of this fucking bullshit. And he's like, yeah, I got everything now. I'm also the Iron Fist. What do I need to do? And he's like, oh, you got to go to give it to someone that actually is good and not you. He's like, oh, shucks.
One of my favorite parts about Moon Knight is his name is Mark Spector.
Of course he is.
Like it's so like, I think he was
That's such a Stanley thing to do.
On like Batman's name, which is Jason Bats.
Get out. Yeah, super excited for Moon Knight. That Moon Knight and Blade, I'm assuming they're going to be in a box together because I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
Not
Super
the Midnight
pumped.
Suns or whatever they're going to be.
No, so I think you are right in that it'll be Midnight Suns, but it'll be a different named Defenders affiliation.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I think it'll be Defenders, Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
and
Led by Blade?
probably Blade. Blade kind of was in the leader. Then we would get. My assumption would be if that card drops, we'll get Morbius as the final as the tease because the would probably line up with the movie, and we'll get another Spider character,
Yeah.
or maybe we just get Morbius by himself. I mean,
Man Bat. I want Man Bat.
or Man Bat, I guess.
Or
Or
Man
Man
Spider.
Spider.
Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking.
That'd
of.
actually be
Man
really
Bat's
cool.
from Batman.
It is.
Man Spider. That's the one I want.
Man Spider actually would be pretty dope. Like a third Peter Parker just to piss off the internet one
Yeah,
more
why
time.
not?
Yeah.
You know what I
There's
mean?
so many Peter Parkers. You could have Peter Parker Spider, just armor Spider.
Actually, no. Order of operations, we need a third Black Widow
Ugh.
before we get a third Peter Parker.
Not that I dislike having multiple. I think it's cool that they're different ones, but I want more like.
Would anybody complain about Man Spider? No. Like I would love Man
Oh,
Spider.
yeah,
that
because
would be super dope.
All of his 6 arms would be made out of Shuri ponytails. Like people would hate it.
You don't care?
Be made
you don't
out of,
You
put 'em
don't build
together?
them anyway. War Machine. Each arm is 4 pieces.
that sounds
Each
right.
leg
That
is
sounds-
4 pieces.
Sounds like my experience with building models.
He was
which I do a lot.
Exhausting.
War Machine? Oh man, I haven't put it together.
He's got a lot of pieces. His
I'm-
torso, 4 pieces.
Why?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Why?
So it's 4.
I hate everything about it.
Just his person is 25 pieces, and then he has his explosion.
It's absurd.
That's 4 more pieces.
Listen, if it's really that difficult, don't worry. I'll take care of you. Extra expired Olive Garden gift cards this time.
Thank you.
Luckily, he wasn't difficult. It's just a lot of little bits.
Yeah.
I don't do well with little bits. I don't like them. I can see. I think Blade will probably be the leader. We'll see Morbius. We'll see Spider-Man. We'll see
Werewolf
Moon
by
Knight.
Night.
Night Thrasher?
No.
The Prowler?
Ooh, Prowler. Wouldn't he be Spider Foes?
Yeah, probably.
I would love to see Werewolf by Night, just something out of left field. Man Thing. Oh,
I was
Oh,
thinking
Man
Man
Thing.
Thing potentially.
So I
make a Brother Voodoo Man Thing box.
well,
Like
Brother Voodoo was out of tactics cards, so we should get him eventually.
I would just love Man Thing in general. Man Thing
Yes.
is super dope.
yeah, he's a Swamp Thing with a weird nose, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah.
He's got like 3 noses.
Ooh.
Man
That
Thing
would
is,
be
but Man Thing's also super dope. I mean, again, it was because of Marvel Zombies that I fell in love with Man Thing because Man
Yeah.
Thing's like the only thing that was immune at one point to
Makes
the
sense.
virus.
Oh.
So he was just going around and Enchantress was had like the essence of the swamp. And so she would just throw it in the ground and he would just pop up and just start ripping zombies in half.
Ooh.
It was super dope.
He's powered by fear.
He is.
So I'd love to see something like if enemies characters take damage within range of him, he gets power from that or something.
Ooh.
Would be
Or
really cool.
or be one of those characters that if he's already done damage, he gets additional dice on the second attack if he
Yes.
targets the same character.
That'd be cool.
Do you
too.
think
I
we'll
like
get a
that.
Sylvie model ever as an
No.
alternate Loki? No. Okay.
No.
Is she in the comic?
Yes.
Somehow, yeah.
Sylvie is one of the name of the later Enchantress, which is given her powers by Loki in the comics.
Probably. If we do, it's years from now.
Yeah.
To be
Um,
fair, I want Alligator Loki first. 'Cause
Florida
he was
Loki is his
awesome.
real name. Alligator Loki's like
What's his real name?
Florida Loki.
Oh. I don't know why it took me so long to understand what you said, but that's good.
I saw a TikTok where someone was going like, "Oh yeah, these are all the Lokis from the comics, the spoilers or whatever," and they're like, "Oh yeah, here's this one and that one and Florida Loki," and I thought it was like his real name. It's not.
If you say it really quick, it almost sounds like a faux Norse name.
Yeah,
Florida Loki.
Fjorda. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh wait, he said Florida because it's an alligator. I got it now.
I did see that there are already 3D printed.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Yep.
Somebody made it already.
Someone already made it. Yeah.
I saw this great TikTok of it was an alligator puppet with a Loki helmet with horns on it, and they had the "Do you want to fight me? Do you want to catch these hands?" And I was like, I love alligator Loki.
Oh.
I haven't watched that episode yet.
So anyway, you pay for rerolls, before you figure out what your crits do.
Right.
Yes.
Were we talking about?
That was a long tangent.
Are you done? Are you done about Moon Knight now? Are we done talking about him?
Because I have to be.
So like maybe we don't see anything. Maybe Midnight Suns just becomes a new Defenders affiliation.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the power will be if we do get that?
The power?
Like, what do you think specifically it will do?
If Blade is the leader?
Well, yeah. If Midnight Suns becomes an additional affiliation for Defenders, what's its thing that it's going to do?
I don't know enough about the Midnight Suns as a group.
Ghost Rider. Yeah, I would actually make a lot of sense because Ghost Rider was in that group at one point. I think Morbius was in it.
Probably Wolverine.
Moon Knight, Spider-Man was in there for a hot second, and Punisher. And I confuse Marvel Knights and Midnight Suns.
Same. That's why I was thinking Night Thrasher would be in there.
Probably something offensive because they seem like the get in your face, kick your ass kind of guys. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Maybe just an inherent reroll.
Well,
I mean, they have that.
Or it has something.
There's a lot of looking back at it. There's a lot of groups that have that. Wakanda has that. That's Wakanda's ability. You get to pay 1 energy, you get to reroll a attack or defense die.
Isn't it just defense?
No, it's attack.
Oh, it's attack too?
Yeah, but I read it the other day.
Maybe a not bad Spider Foes one because they are a little bit aggressive. Where they can either
they just automatically get to do it.
Yeah,
I don't think they would do that. Where they make it the same as theirs but better.
Right. Maybe
it would be like that, but you pay to reroll one of your opponent's attack dice.
Honestly, you know what I can see it being? Pay 2 energy, you get stealth till the end of turn. Like they just sneak up and beat the shit out of people and run away.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's difficult thinking of.
That would actually be really cool to finally see. Like I know we are getting a tactics card, or the text card has already come out. Where it's in Cassandra Nova's thing, where you get to give them. I think it's red training room. You get to give them stealth till the end of turn.
Here's what
round,
Here's what I think it would be, because the Midnight Suns were always good at killing all sorts of different like creepy things in the night, right? It'll be something similar to like silvered weapons. It removes innates.
Right.
They get to ignore an enemy with stealth. They get to ignore invulnerability or immunity to poisons or things like that.
That would be good.
Or wall crawler.
They could just ignore innate abilities while attacking or something like that.
Yeah.
We had to find a way to word that, but I like that idea a lot, that they just kind of cut through it.
Yeah.
Like they found your known weaknesses or something like that.
Exactly.
Straight up, pay 3 energy. That character is no longer immune to poison if they do damage. Just make them the anti-poison guys. You know what I mean? Like,
Blade just taking down all the Inhumans. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Seems a little stacked one-sided.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because Moon Knight's on his side.
Just unfair to everybody else.
Right. Okay.
And they live on the moon, and he's literally the avatar of the moon god.
Right. I thought you meant Blade and Moon Knight live on the moon, and I was like, what? Then I realized you meant Inhumans. Okay.
Okay. So there was a big FAQ that came out, or rules clarification, I guess you could say.
It was on the rules forum.
Right. Explain to me how we weren't already doing this, and or we had been getting it wrong the whole time, or whatever.
We were paying for rerolls on characters like MODOK or Wakanda, Beast, Spider Senses, after all dice had been rolled, or paying for them right when we rerolled them. You pay for them before you find the results of your critical rolls.
So how does this actually change the outcome of things?
Not much.
It changes it a little because you have to be...
Because the internet is acting like this is the worst thing to ever happen, ever.
For those characters,
my thing is it slows it down just a little bit because you have to stop and think before you just roll more dice. So what I figured out, I was trying to explain it to a couple different people, that you roll your dice as normal. Once you see what you have, then you pay the power for rerolls. So like MODOKs, you can pay 1 or 2 power to reroll 1 or 2 dice, right? You have to decide then. Then any crits that explode, you roll those additional dice, and then you re-roll whatever rerolls you have, then you re-roll whatever you can there. So the only real difference to what we've been doing is you roll your dice, you add your crit rolls, and then we do the rerolls. It's hardly different.
Yeah, so for that, it doesn't. So that it is the exact same. But when you pay for the rerolls and when you have to make the determination on how many you will get to reroll.
Especially with MODOK, it's only
resolve.
a question of 1 or 2 dice, which you probably will have in that initial roll anyway with his 6 dice attack.
Right.
You know, you'll probably have 1 or 2 that you want to reroll.
Well, it's on his
anyway.
defense too. He can pay an X amount of energy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
To
a bigger
reroll.
deal on his defense.
Yeah.
Then. But it only really comes into effect if you're adding dice from the crit.
Now, Xavier Protocols dropped a thing explaining it and explaining that maybe some powers still do it out of activation. Like some of them do it
If
after.
they don't cost power, then this clarification doesn't really matter because
Okay. That's what they were trying to get
It
at.
was only about when you pay the power.
All right, I was also trying to help my mom with her setting up her retirement stuff. So like I was like not getting anything that was being talked about at that time. So
that's
Yeah, I read the rules forum thing. I looked at it in the rules book, in the actual rules document to figure out what they were saying because they kept saying like after step 6 and after step 7. I'm like, I don't know what that means exactly. So I looked it up and then I did read that thing from Xavier Protocols so I could clarify it in my mind because I knew we would talk about it.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, I got it. So the only real difference is on a few characters and cards. There's not, and a lot of people are saying it's a big nerf, but it's like, really, it might affect one
the people
or
who are
two dice
saying
here
it's
and there.
the people who are saying it's a big nerf are looking for a reason to complain about something.
I guess
That's all it is.
I like clarification. Now there's no argument
Nobody.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a problem.
Well, we never had an argument about it because we all
also didn't
did
know
it
the
one
part
way.
exist. Yeah.
right.
We did it very slightly wrong, but in a way that might affect 1 die every few attacks.
Right.
I think.
So stop being a bunch of weenies, internet.
Obviously, you come here first for hard hitting rules and
Right.
strategy.
That's what we are known for.
Yeah.
Right. Unless we're joking.
Which
We're really
thankfully-
known for that.
Yeah.
Who was somebody said they were the most entertaining?
That was Derek.
Yeah, Derek. I like Derek.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah, bud. Thanks. Shout out more importantly to my man Scotty.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out.
Hi, Scotty. Zach.
He just hits me up all the time now and
Scotty
asks me a
doesn't
question.
know how much he's appreciated.
He doesn't know.
I'm sure he's never heard that before.
Fair.
No, he was hitting me up. He was asking me how to paint yellow the other day, and I was
Oh.
like, you know what, I like
If
talking.
there's someone who you should ask to paint yellow, it's someone that's painted a lot of black and yellow Tyranids for me.
Accurate. Yeah. Somebody who chooses yellow as a base color for pretty much anything nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So what I'm going to do here, right, is like do the regular colors,
Right.
but make them bees.
You have
Accurate.
a problem, sir.
Yeah. Accurate.
It's an accurate thing that has been said to me on multiple occasions.
Oh, I was talking to Tim, but okay.
No,
Tim has said to me on Tim has said to me on multiple occasions, "Hey, can you do this, but also just do it black and yellow instead of whatever extra colors this is?"
Sometimes
Sure.
it's easier if they don't have a neat alternate outfit from like a game or an alternate series or an ultimate universe or whatever, and everyone's gonna be painting them the same. It's like, just beat it up.
Did you see that Quicksilver just got a new uniform in like the new X Factor comic, I think,
I
where
did
he's
not.
yellow and gray?
Is he?
Look it up. Somebody painted theirs, like, and they showed the cover from it, and I was like, that's actually a pretty cool cover. I'm pretty sure it's X Factor.
Quicksilver bees.
I'm sure that's not. Well, maybe it'll work. I don't know. He's literally Googling that. It's just
a bunch of
picture
bees there, bud.
Shocking.
Huh.
Oh, and
And a picture of Quicksilver.
movie, both movie Quicksilvers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. Anything else, guys?
No.
I think we've ran long enough now.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Bees.
birds.
That being said, true believers, thanks for joining us this week once again. Sorry it was a slow week. Not really.
Check us out next week when we make some speculations about what the Moon Knight card might have.
We'll hear about Tim and Taylor's game.
We just did that.
We could do it again, though.
Well, we do it every week at this point. So
Daniel will be on. I'd love to hear her take on
Moon Knight.
At least
Yeah.
I'm assuming she will be.
she might be done with the show. Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know. But thanks for joining us. You can go tell all the other podcasts that you were just hanging out with your friend.
Moon
Not
Knight.
hanging out.
Oh, guys, make sure to tune in this Thursday.
Yeah.
For the live streamed version of Elite Eight Showdown this Thursday at like 7-ish p.m.
Mhm.
on the twitch.tv/professional casual network.
Ooh.
And then all sorts of additional streaming stuff over the weekend. Whereas Saturday is
a one
the
shot.
17th?
yeah.
Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay one shot. Hell Rides to Halt, featuring Tim and Danny and our friend Elizabeth and Jess from Settling the Southlands.
Oh my God, Liz is going to be here?
Yeah.
Holy sh!
Yeah, I'm terrified.
Okay, sorry guys.
She's playing a Death Wizard,
Yeah.
and Jess is playing a Heavens Wizard,
I
and
mean,
Danny's playing a Troll Slayer,
uh-huh.
and you're playing a Thief,
I think
right? Is that what you chose?
I didn't choose. I had you choose.
Oh, I thought you chose.
No, I gave it
forget.
to you and you chose, and I think I'm playing a witch hunter.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
A witch hunter, and there's 2 wizards in the party.
So
Perfect.
go well.
And then the Tuesday after that, July 20th, Danny and I are doing a special live game on the Twitch. I believe will be for the League.
Yeah.
That will be just kind of out of sequence extra during our mostly casual con online celebration.
No. Big Chucker Con.
Little of both.
No, it's Big Chucker Con because I get to go first, so it's Big Chucker Con. That's how it works. It's Big Chucker Virtual Con.
And then that Thursday, the 22nd,
Mm.
you and Throwlash will be playing a game of Warhammer Fantasy Battles?
Yeah.
Or is that Friday?
Thursday.
10
a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Taylor and I are playing Warhammer Fantasy Battles. I'm playing Ogre Kingdoms, and he's playing Dwarves, I think. He might be changing it to Night Goblins.
Oh.
But some kind of short underground thing.
But either way, all that's happening right here. Not right here. This is on YouTube. Over on the Twitch. Links down below. Make sure to go check it out. There will be an actual real celebrity guest
Oh, yeah.
on the 15th for Big Chuck's birthday. He doesn't know who it is. They actually haven't responded to me yet. They might not be there. But there will be lots of special guest things
It's also
happening.
not my birthday.
It is his birthday.
It's not my birthday.
Make sure to send him
Nope.
all of the birthday stuff
Nope.
on July 15th, next Thursday.
This would be my birthday week if it was my birthday at the time that this video drops. So definitely
This Thursday.
don't.
Right?
Yeah, so mail that stuff to
Mhm.
P.O. Box G, as in the letter G, West Oneonta, New York, 13861.
P.O. Box G is in Gilf.
And you can write "Happy Birthday, Chuck," and
hate
put all
this.
kinds of weird shit in there.
I
All
really,
sorts of weird shit.
I very specifically did not want the 15th to be a thing that was about my birthday. I wanted it to be about being the live show. So thanks for that. With that being said, true believers, we're all bummed out. Have a good night.